gentlemen, phraseologically, euphuistic, for your edification, in efflorescent highfalutin flamboyancies, primarily promoting the prestigious Players Theatre, plus none other than Mr. John Inman.
Captain Ginger, jolly old pot, 30 yacht, 95 and 3 what? He loves my ladies, not one of the
My word, that brings back some memories. Yeah, the good old days. Probably my grandma's favourite TV programme when I lived in Kemble Street. That and Come Dancing. Who remembers Come Dancing? That's a great show. Long before you had Strictly. I mean, come on. I mean, Come Dancing was the top dog in the 1970s. That and the good old days. Great. So there's a memory for you. We've already started along the memory lane. Welcome to the show. Thanks for the memory. Trying something new. I'm wearing a different hat for a start. So this is, I don't even know whether anyone's going to turn up on this stream. I don't even know what's going to happen. It's all in the lap of the gods. Yeah, it's. I just thought I'd try a different format and see how we get on and see if people enjoy it. If they do enjoy it, and if I enjoy it, and we all enjoy it, then we might do it again. So let's see. Thanks for the memory. What is it about? Well, it's basically I thought of it as a kind of like a magazine program, really, but it's obviously Prescot centric. Prescott centric, the small town of Prescot in Lancashire. But it could refer to anywhere because Prescott is like a microcosm of anywhere in the country, basically. What happens in Prescott happens everywhere. Kind of, sometimes. Anyway, thanks for the show. Thanks for watching, if you're watching now. My name's Philip Battle. I'm the admin for Born and Prescot. And do you know that Born and Prescot next year will be 10 years old? 10 years ago that I was walking around Prescott thinking, you know, how depressed people were. This is long before the Theatre of the North came along, by the way. This was, 10 years ago, 2015. A good few years before the Theatre of the North was even thought about. But it was kind of like I wanted to start something on Facebook that would instill some kind of community spirit to Prescot and remind them of the rich history and culture that we've got here in Prescott. So fellow Prescotians near and far, welcome to the show. And if you are from afar, then you can chat with us on this this live stream. So we can talk to each other. It'll come up. You can ask questions. You can interact with the show in whatever way you feel fit, as long as it's not rude and it's nice and genteel. Oh yeah, whatever. We don't know how many people are going to turn up tonight. It might be a few, it might be loads, but you know, from small acorns, things grow, don't they? Talking about things that grow, right? I want to show you random object of the day, and they're here. They make lovely thingies to dangle from your ears. Does anyone know what these are? We grew these, myself and Catherine have an allotment, and we grew these. obviously spuds. But what connection do they have with Prescot? Not these particular spuds, well, other than the fact that we grew them, but what have these type of spuds got to do with Prescot? I have vlogged it before, so you may remember that vlog. Anyway, I'll leave that with you, and then we can come back to that later on. Catherine has a card here. My partner is Catherine. We make videos together, and we walk around Prescot, and people often shout to us, oh, there's that man from YouTube. I'm that man from YouTube, and there's that woman from YouTube. Hey, you, YouTube. It's true. We walk around Eccleston Street. He sent me this card, and it's a belated birthday card because I haven't been away to do any birthday things last week because we were working. And she said, oh, good luck with your first very live show tonight. There we go. And birthday greetings, etc., etc., which is great. You do need some encouragement when you do something new because you don't know what you're doing, really, do you? Do you know what? I did this show about an hour ago. I did the entire show. She's got me this as well. This entire show to myself as a technical rehearsal. And so I did it for over half an hour or so. And let's see what this is. I didn't even have the microphone turned on. What do you think of that? There you go. It's a bottle of beer. A bottle of gear. That'll come in useful for after the show. Lovely. So, yeah, it's great. Oh, Jill Atkinson has said hello and welcome to your first live show. Thank you, Jill. It's very kind of you. Urban Canvas. They said, hey, congratulations on your first show. Let's hope it's one of many. There you go. It could be one of many. One of many. We're very close now on YouTube to being monetized. We just need people to keep watching the videos. If you go onto YouTube and put play all videos and just leave them on your computer to play, if everybody did that, I'd probably be monetized tomorrow because it would just run through them. You don't even have to watch them. You just have to have them on your computer and they would run through them. So the show, I've got an ancient timepiece here to time the show because I estimated or guesstimated that the show would last for about half an hour. There's that magazine type format. It may last not as long as that. May only last, I don't know, 20 minutes. I don't know. Anyway, I've got this ancient timer. There we go. It's an hourglass, although this is a 30-minute glass. Watches in Prescot, they had these. This was state of the art in 200 BC. So I'm gonna just turn it over, and when it's reached the 30-minute limit, we'll check again to see if anyone's still watching. How to empty a YouTube live stream instantly just by producing one of these. So I'll just turn this over, and you can see the sands of time now are running out, and they run out, don't they? The days go quick these days. Everything just flies by. I'll put it here. You can't see it, but I can. So until I find another place for it, then, we'll do with that. So what have we got lined up tonight then? For our first live show, we've got an introduction. Well, I think we've already done that, haven't we? Also, I'm going to talk a bit about the Friends of Prescot Churchyard and cemetery. That'd be an interesting thing. Then I'm going to go talk a bit about the Historic Society, some random items, reviews and stuff. Perhaps some new footage that you haven't seen from the Prescot Festival of 2008. So you wouldn't have seen that footage before. I've never seen it before. So we're going to shove that in, and then we can have a general chat if there's anyone around having a chat. And I've got some other things to talk about, some books and stuff. I have been making notes. This is how I make my notes, just on folded bits of paper. I usually do them in pencil, but I've pushed the boat out tonight by actually doing them in biro. There you go. So, okay, I'm going to start with the Friends of. They are officially known. The leaflet here. They're officially known as the Friends of Prescot Cemetery and Churchyard. Now, I didn't know that Prescot had both a cemetery and a churchyard. They're two separate things. And we went along to the AGM, which was the other week, and we were actually invited to go, myself and Catherine, to talk to the group. And they've been going for 11 years, you know, and they're a really interesting group of people. What I'll do, I'll just put really interesting. There we go. These photos. These were taken recently off a post from the Friends of Prescot Cemetery. And what it shows is the way that they have transformed the cemetery and churchyard. This is the new, I call it the new cemetery, but the old bit is the churchyard. The new bit is the cemetery. So cemetery came about in about 1922, I think it was, something like that. And over the years, it's become run down, and to me, in the 80s, it looked like the Hammer House of Horrors, because all the graveyards, all the gravestones were smashed and ivy growing everywhere, and it wasn't in a good state in the 1980s, 1990s, etc., etc. But they were actually set up by Viv Frodsham and Shirley. Sorry, not Shirley. Jennifer. Yeah. I'll put the names at the end. So a couple of people set them up, set this group up to look after the churchyard, and they've done amazing things. I'll just go on to the next slide. They've just, you know, they mow the lawns, they do all the hedging, they do the pathways, prune the trees and stuff like that. And this, actually, I was looking at these photos, it's like a trust property. You know, it's so neat and tidy. It's so well cared for. And I'm actually going to do a vlog on the Friends of Prescot Churchyard alone, because I think they need some focus on what they do. Now, remember, these are all volunteers who do this in their own free time. They give over their free time to brave the weathering and the rain and all stuff like that. And they do fantastic work for the community. I think that's it. That's all of them. So absolutely fantastic work that they're doing in the churchyard. They transform that churchyard. But they've got a problem. They've got a big problem. And the problem is they are short on volunteers. So they're looking for volunteers to help them out, basically. So I said, what I'll do is I'll put some videos together and try and get them, you know, gather up a bit of enthusiasm to actually go down once a week. I think they meet on a Saturday at 1 o'clock, something like that. But they've had problems with the weather as well, and they've had a lot of problems throughout the years as well, you know, through various antisocial behaviour in the churchyard and vandalism and stuff like that. That's really, I'm amazed that they've kept going, but they have kept going because what came across from meeting with them is they've got a strong nature about them. They really care about what the community and how it looks and stuff like that, and they put a lot of time and energy into that. And if you manage an allotment plot or something like that, you'll know how hard it is to manage the land. And to do it when there's only a few of you in number is very difficult, you know. And so you need people to come along all the time, continual supply of people to come along and help out, basically. The hand you have, the easier the job. So I thought I'll put a call out tonight, and you can perhaps offer your services. I mean, it's a great for socializing, for doing stuff in the community. Especially, I'm thinking about, you know, there's lots of new builds in Prescot, lots of new builds and people who've just moved into the area who would like to get to know thing as well. It's great to keeping you fit and healthy. It'd be great for anybody who's really interested in just community work, you know, and just helping out a couple of hours a week. You can go down to the churchyard yourself on a Saturday at 1 o'clock, or you can contact them through their Facebook group. So I'm going to do a special program on the Friends because I think they deserve it, and I'm going to follow this up in other videos, because if you know, it only takes a handful of people to go down and help out. Yeah. So for the Friends, I'm all in support of what they do. I think they do a fantastic job, and I hope that we can boost the number of volunteers up and keep the group going. There was a rumor that if they can't get enough volunteers, then they can't carry on. You know, they can't carry on doing the great work they do, which would be a tragedy. You know, in this day and age, to just let that go, and all the hard work that they've done. There's some fantastic work there, you know, incredible work that transformed the churchyard, and it's a wonderful place to sit and contemplate things and slow down from everyday life, you know. So it's yeah, it's a great thing that they're doing. So I'm all for that anyway. So just let me have a breather. Hope you've got a nice cup of tea, by the way. Make yourself a nice cup of tea. Yeah, I've paid out a lot for this. Nice cup of tea. Shakespeare North. Yeah, Lancashire tea. We're going there tomorrow night, by the way. Romeo and Juliet, me and Catherine. If I see you there, then I might buy you a cup of tea. So yeah, Friends of Prescot Churchyard, Cemetery and Churchyard. There's the letter-headed paper. I don't know if you can see that. There you go. So great work that they do. On another note, but related, Prescot Historic Society. I've just started. Jennifer Chadwick, who's a member of the Friends of Prescot Churchyard, is also, I think she's a chair or something, of the Prescot Historic Society. Prescot Historic Society is a very old group. Actually, it was set up by FAB, Francis Arthur Bailey, in the 1930s, I believe. A very distinguished group of people who are interested in history, and it's a group that I haven't heard much about, really. I haven't been associated with them in much of an active role, you know. I did send them some when I started off born and raised in Prescot. I did send them some stuff, but I didn't know anything back, you know. So I thought they were just being snobbish. I didn't think they wanted to know me, you know. But anyway, Jennifer Chadwick, lovely person, used to be the Lord Mayor of Prescot. So I remember going around Prescott with her chains on. She's a lovely person. And the first meeting is the 26th of September at the parish rooms in Stony Lane. Apparently, I didn't even know there was parish rooms in Stony Lane, but apparently there is. So they're meeting at 7:30. That's the first meeting. But they've got actually a full program of events that are happening. I don't know. I've got the events here. Can't find them. Anyway, they've got a full program of events happening, including hot pot supper. Now that hot pot supper, that got me straight away. You've got a hot pot supper evening. On the first meeting on the 26th, they've got Mark Ollie of he did a TV series. Mark Ollie, I've got a lot of time for him, and it's I think it's called Hidden Treasures or something like that. But I don't know whether he's appearing there or whether they're showing a film of Mark Ollie's on that date. Now, membership to the Prescot Historic Society, because they are looking for members, is £20 for a year. 20 quid, 20 sheets. 20 sheets. That's nothing. It's nothing, is it? 20 sheets. So that's for a full year, by the way. And they meet every month, and they've got excursions and all kinds of things going on, history related. And also they've got their own archives. They've got archive evenings where I suppose they rummage through the archives. I don't know because I've never been to one of their meetings, so I don't know what the archive meeting actually involves. But you know, I might do a video on them, and I'm certainly interested in looking at them archives because I'm sure they've got lots of things there that I would find interesting. I think anyone who's interested in history would find of interest. So I would strongly recommend that you get yourself down to that first meeting. I did put a posting on Born and Raised in Prescot, and you can see the posting there of how to contact them and various things like that. But Prescot Historic Society, I'd just like to get to know more about them and find out a bit more about what they do. They've been going for a long time, like I said, and very distinguished. Somebody said they want you to start their meeting with a gavel, order, all that stuff, you know. Apparently so. They're a bit more relaxed now, I think. I think they are anyway. I don't know. So yeah, that's a good thing, isn't it? Prescot Historic Society. So yeah, I'm gonna enjoy going to that. I'd just like to give a few shouts out because when I've been going around Tesco's, and it's usually when I've been looking in the reduced items aisle, people have like recognized me. They said, "There's that man from YouTube," and they recognise me, and yeah. These are just people who just watch the channel and watch the videos. And I'll just give a shout out to Christopher Eccleston, not Christopher Eccleston from Doctor Who. This is Christopher Eccleston from Huyton. I met him in Tesco's. So I just get people's names and say, I'll mention you sooner or later, you know. Peter Clark, also from I think he's from Wiston. Yes, he is. He's from Wiston. And I met him in Tesco's, and I also met him on Eccleston Street. You know, very nice people, these, by the way. I do like it when people come up to me and say, "There's that man from YouTube," and they have a chat. It's nice. Ryan Doyle. Now, Ryan is a young lad who I tried to interview outside the Shakespeare North. But I pressed photo instead of interview, and I just took his photo. But he's only very young, you know. He's about 18, 17, 18, something like that. But he's really tall for his age. And I said to him, what got you interested in history? Because, you know, it's usually the older people who get interested in history. But he wrote back to me with a long list of reasons why he was interested in history. And I was having a look on the stats, you know, the stats for the channel, and seeing that almost 25% of people who watch Born and Raised in Prescot videos are under the age of 30 years of age and under. The other 60% are over 50. But it's very true that the older you get, the more interested you get in older things. And when I was, you know what, they do say that youth is lost on the young. No, George Melly told me that joke. I don't know whether it's true. I think it's a quote from somebody else. Urban Canvas have said, yeah, spectacular blooms in April along the paths of the cemetery. Yeah, do you know what? The friends have actually, they've planted thousands and thousands of bulbs in the churchyard there. And if you go at certain times of the year, you will see absolutely amazing displays. And for Remembrance Sunday that's coming up, they have a poppy display as well in the churchyard. They do fantastic things like that, you know. It really does make it a joy to go through that churchyard these days, you know. When I was looking back to, what was it? I did a research. Somebody wrote a paper on making middens in Prescot. Someone wrote a paper. I've actually printed it out because I was just amazed at this, of how people used to dispose of the human waste matter. And you know, when Shakespeare was coming to Prescot, if he ever did come to Prescot, I'm not convinced, but you can say anything about Shakespeare, just make it up and people believe it. When he was coming to Prescot, he was sort of like they were going to the toilet in the churchyard. Yeah, I think some people still do these days, you know. I don't think people's nature has changed. Well, I hope they're not going to the toilet in the churchyard because it's beautiful. Anyway, so yeah, that's what used to happen, you know. And I'm going to do a vlog on that because that's just, you know, that's off the wall. That is. Yeah. Oh, Judge Red, do you remember a couple of old Prescot actors, Ken Jones, who was in Porridge, and Wacker, and Billy Moores, who was in Watching, but now both sadly passed. I don't know Ken Jones, but I do know Billy Moore, and I think I was in a show with Billy Moore at one time. Going back, he was in Our Day Out, wasn't he? I think he was in Our Day Out, Billy Moore, and he is well known Prescotian. Billy Moore. He's been in lots of things. I think he was Boys in the Black Stuff. I think he was in that as well. Various things like that. Yeah, but great Prescotians. Yeah, sadly passed. That's a great memory. That is. It's a great memory. So, yeah, that is amazing. So, what I'll do is, I think that it's time for a musical break, don't you? So what I'll do is I think I'll play you a bit of footage from the Prescot Festival 2008 2008. It's a few years back now. It only seems like round the corner. But I'll show you this footage and I'll see if you can, if you recognise anybody in it. And if you do, then shout out. It may bring back some memories. Now, Prescot Festival is mainly a music festival. I think it was set up by David Koenig, who has gone into the priesthood now. I think he's training to be a priest, David. He's a good lad. And yeah, if he watches this, he'll probably remember a lot of this. So I'll play this for you now. Hang on, I'll just take that banner off there because we've done that Prescot Historic Society. So take that off. And we'll just do this.
Nice cover.
Piss off, you fat bastard. Maybe they're doing some grass rubbings.
My name is Phil Chalk and I'm the MD of the Fairy Band, the world famous Fairy Band, and we're here to perform a concert at Prescot Church this evening with a flavour of the proms, last night of the proms. So it's very festive and very traditional and we hope it's going to go down very well.
Yeah, all right, Rob. Yeah, we will.
Anyway, what happened?
Well, I've lived in Prescot all my life. I'm an ordained local minister here. I've been ordained for 8 years and I've always worshipped at this church. I think the Prescot Festival is a wonderful idea and it's particularly gratifying to see that 2 of our choir members are the leading lights in promoting this festival, Robert Howard and David Koenig. They've done a splendid job and this year seems to have been better than ever and the response has been marvellous. I'm sure we'll all want to come again next year. Well, it's good to have something that is really good and we can really be proud of. Prescot's had a lot to suffer, a lot of things in recent years. It's good that it's got something to give us a bit of spirit and lift us up a bit.
Lily Glover, here for the last night of the proms. We've already had an evensong service and now we're doing the band, the Fairy Aviation Band, and I'm selling the flags, £1 each, for people to have a good wave towards the end of the concert.
Wasn't that lovely? Because Sunday night is music night. There's a memory for you. Actually, it's Friday night is music night. Remember that program? That's another favourite thing, like music from the BBC. That was lovely. If you've got any memories of the Prescot Festival, let us know, and we can feature more of their stuff. I don't know where that video came from, by the way, because that's been on my hard drive for a long time. And I just thought that I've got a few of them actually that I'm going to put up maybe in the next of these that we do, if we do another one of these. I want to talk a bit about some books now, because I've a while ago, a person called gave me this book. It's a booklet, really. I don't know if you can see that. That's Inns of Prescot and Whiston. This is a fascinating booklet, and I think it was published in. Let's see if there's a date on it there. I think it was published in 19. Forgotten now. About 1985 or something like that. Anyway, it's a meticulously researched document with information on old Prescot pubs and the landlords and when they were established and stuff like that. And there's even annotations. Annotated. Is that what it's annotated? Yeah. Amendments from the author, who's obviously done more research. There's more here. And then slipped in this extra bit of information. It's a fascinating book, and I'm going to do a vlog on this. There's for Couples Ale in Eccleston, a brewery in Eccleston. So I'm going to do a vlog on this, based on this book, because it is totally fascinating. And I thought I'll do a virtual pub crawl of all the pubs that don't exist anymore. So I'll be totally dry. Another book I came across is this one, The Prescot Kid. There we are. Prescot Kid. If you put into Alexa, tell me about Prescot. In fact, I'll try it now. Alexa, tell me about Prescott.
Prescott is a city in and the county seat of Yavapai County, Arizona, United States. As of 2020 census, the city's population was 45,827.
See, it doesn't understand. It's not British, it's not English. Prescott obviously refers to Prescott, Arizona. And this is a short story inspired from the film, the 1933 film, that in 1934 appeared at both the Lounge Cinema in Prescott and the Picture Palace simultaneously. There were the queues around the block, and every time that Prescott was mentioned in the film, the kids would stamp their feet and just totally excited. Can you imagine being a kid in Prescott when the Prescott Kid was shown on the cinema? And I've got a bit of footage. You may have seen this before, but I'm going to show it again. Here we go.
Say, there's a fella inside there what needs a doctor pretty bad.
The law fella from Prescott. This fella needs attention.
That marshal from Prescott got Red Larson. The stage driver said he's riding a white horse and heading this way.
Where'll I find the sheriff?
Sheriff? He died at Spellbank. Not enough iron in the system and too much lead. How are things up at Prescott?
I don't know. I've never been in Prescott.
You don't expect anyone to believe that, do you?
I don't care whether anyone believes it or not.
They've run off our cattle, shot down our men, and driven us so far into debt that, well, that's why Father went to Prescott, to see if he could borrow enough money to keep us going.
There we go. The Prescott Kid, from a man and a Prescott kid who's never been to Prescott. So you can actually buy this book off Amazon. It's one of those print to order books. This costs about £3.50. It's a short story. It'll just last you perhaps just before bedtime. It's good bedtime reading. But if you're nostalgic about cinema and about Prescott, the real Prescott, not this Prescott, then that might be of interest to you. So that's just a little novelty thing that I thought I'll throw in because, that's what we do. So, I was contacted not so long ago by Kieran Diaz Comenech Kennedy. It's an Irish name. I hope I've pronounced it right there, and I haven't got back to him, but he sent me some interesting stuff regarding the Battle family coming to Prescott. Apparently he is some way related to the Battle family through marriage or whatever, and he sent me some documents which were really interesting, some birth certificates and stuff, about how the Battle family came over on the Irish famine. With the Irish famine, by the way, was between 1845 and 1852 ish. Where millions of people died and emigrated to other parts of the country, and Prescott was no different. And in Prescott, there was a place called the Camp, which was renamed Pemberton Court. Prescott became a place where the Irish people settled in Prescott. And it was quite evocative the way he described the crossing, and they stayed in Vauxhall, the Battle family, and then walked to Prescott to find accommodation and stuff like that. And they were put in often overcrowded slum-like conditions in Prescott, which, you can't imagine it today, like 5 people in a tiny room and stuff like that. But remember those 2 potatoes that I showed you earlier on? The potatoes, well, they're called Irish lumpers, and they were the only things that the Irish people in Ireland were growing. These potatoes are particularly hardy potatoes in normal conditions. You can grow them. You can see why they're called lumpers, because they're all kind of like my lights off there. They're kind of all lumpy, basically. And as potatoes go, they're not the best flavour in the world, but they will grow on stony soil, and you don't have to give them much nutrients. They'll still grow, So these lumper potatoes, that's the link to Prescott, is that when these failed and they all got blight, the Irish people had nothing to eat. And why they got blight and why they were only growing potatoes is for another vlog, because that is kind of like very political and stuff. A lot of stuff was going on then. So that's the link. If you got that, well done. If you didn't, well, I'll throw these. Anyway, great. I think, are we coming to the end now? Because I've planned this. I know I've planned it, but you know what? I've just sort of like, when you plan something and then you just make it up on the spur of the moment. And I just wonder whether have I covered everything that I was going to do in this one. You know the video I made about the Great Walls of Prescot, which people seem to really enjoy that video, and a lot of people seem to like it. I think I need to go back and talk about the walls, because I've been in touch with my archaeology friend from down south, and she's given me some advice on how we could protect them walls. But somebody got back to me on YouTube and said they've actually found Roman coins in the vicinity of them walls. I don't know. The Romans in Prescot, could some of them walls be Roman in origin? We don't know, do we? I think we need to do a bit more research on that. But Roman coins in Prescot. I was thinking of doing a vlog on the Romans in Prescot and what they've done for us, and I think I'll do some research on that. Now, there's another feature that I want to throw at you. You can have it. This I want to throw this to you, because the other day, myself and Catherine had a little walk down Bond Street, and I want you to have a look at this video and tell me what you think. Now, I came to a conclusion when I was there, and I thought it was one thing, but it might be something else. But I'll just play that video for you and tell me what you think of this. Look at it. Just been walking down Bond Street here, and I've noticed, you see these cobbles here, different colours. These ones here, they're not original, right? So, just looking at this here as well, they're not the original sandstone cobbles that we get on Bond Street, and I suspect that somebody's been coming and stealing them, maybe for a garden feature or something like that, and they've been replaced the best way the council know how, with whatever cobbles they can find. It's just another sign of the times, really, isn't it, where people steal things that are of heritage value. And as far as I'm aware, these cobbles, or they don't call them cobbles, they call them something else. They're not quite cobbles, they're septs or something. Anyway, I call them cobbles, but it's kind of like, these have been here probably since about the 1850s, these cobbles. So, yeah. Anyway, sign of the times. Okay, have I got it wrong there? Is it just like Knowsley Council, just like maintaining the cobbles, so taking out old broken cobbles and replacing it with things that obviously are different? Or is it somebody going around nicking cobbles? Now, I know that happens, you know, places like where there's York stone and, you know, around the churchyard. I'm sure it's happened. Historic people and put, you know, high-vis jackets on and start stealing stuff from the roads. I'm just wondering if it is that. It might be innocent. It might be Knowsley Council. Perhaps somebody from Knowsley Council can say to me, oh, it's all right, mate, it's us. We're just replacing them temporarily before we put them back, you know. I don't know, but you know, that Bond Street bit, that's where I grew up, is I'm quite fond of that area. You know, that it's unspoilt. It's been unspoilt since 1873. That has not been touched, them cobbles, and now it seems to be bits and bits of it are going, and it will be sad to see that actually redeveloped or them cobbles ripped out and putting something Disney-fied there. It's kind of is kind of, you know, it's going to be lost. That bit of Bond Street, that needs to be preserved. I think that needs to be preserved. I can feel another video coming on there as well. Urban Canvas says, I wonder how many pianos are left in the current drinking houses and establishments. That's the thing, isn't it? Pianos. Remember upright pianos where they used to have them, tink tonk tonk. When I was a kid, my Uncle Peter used to keep bringing them home. We had them in the backyard, and I'd just go like that, ding, 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 because they were all chucking out the old pianos then, you know, in the 1960s. They were chucking them out of all the old houses and stuff, because everybody had a piano. You had a piano in your front room, didn't you? But all the pubs as well, because that's how we used to make our entertainment, isn't it, when in the pubs and stuff. Anyway, that Bond Street one on that Bond Street thing there. Now, you notice in the introduction to this thing that I put in the good old days, and I'm glad I did, because I had another introduction planned that I didn't, you know, I thought, no, I can't put that on. It's a bit random and it's a bit too bizarre for people. And maybe if I did put that on as an introduction video, you might think I've lost my mind, or maybe you think that you'd lost your mind. But I thought it was quite a funny video. So I'm going to show it at the end. And I think we're coming to the end now, because we're coming up to nearly 53 minutes and 26 seconds. So tomorrow night, we're going to the Shakespeare North Playhouse to watch Romeo and Juliet. And if you are going to the Shakespeare North Playhouse and you do see us, just shout over, "There's that man from YouTube," and I'll know exactly what you mean and who you're talking to, and I'll probably come up and say hello. Because I do like saying hello to people. It's really nice. That's one of the perks of doing these videos, you know, is just appreciating them and just coming up and saying, I really loved your last video. And, you know, also, if you've got any ideas for videos and stuff like that, please do leave a comment under this video as well. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, and share on your social media. Also, I'm being told, can constantly click the bell icon, and you can do your bit to help the channel thrive and etc, etc, etc. So, looking forward to me nice at this Shakespeare North tomorrow, and I'm gonna leave you with the original intro that I was gonna do for this live event. If you're watching live, you've been a brilliant audience. I know there's not that many watching live, but there's enough to make it worthwhile. And some of your comments were great. Jill Anderson, Judge Red, Urban Canvas, very much for your comments. And I'm going to leave you with the original title that I was, I'll just take this banner off here. There you go. Take that banner off there. And this is the original title that I was going to start the show and say, thanks for watching. And we'll see you again on the next video that we do. So thanks for watching. Bye. Go, go.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Obi-Wan Kenobi show. Because somehow I managed to continue breathing without the Vogue show. It's nice to see lots of turning up on this wonderful day. Now, I'd just like to say, for those people who haven't got a fairy in their hand, that's coming up onto the screen right now, please, I beg of you, there's no point, well, you can do this if you like, but there's absolutely no point trying to contact the show via the show phone. Here, ladies and gentlemen, this phone only goes on for the show for an hour. And when the show's off, it goes off. And when the show's off, it goes off. But people do text and they message me. They certainly not. This goes through the messages. So Steve Moore